Right, hello everybody. Looks like I'm live. Let me just check. Not completely certain. Okay, it all looks good to me. So we're looking at phrasal verbs with after today. Now there are two main things to remember with phrasal verbs with after. And basically the two main meanings of this preposition, as far as I can see, are chase, which we will look at in a moment, but you'll see that several of these phrasal verbs mean chase or hunt someone down. And the second meaning, which I want you to remember, is someone else, which we'll see I have written on the board, or I could write on the board, for many of these meanings. Okay, you'll see this someone else. If anyone doesn't know, when I write S.O, that means someone. If I write S.T, that means something. Anyway, let's look at ask after someone first of all. This one's quite an informal phrasal verb, and it just means inquire about the health or progress of someone you know. Somebody, maybe one of your friends, is asking after you because they haven't seen you for a long time and they've heard that maybe you've got sick, or they've heard that you've got a new job. It could be good news. And so they're asking after you. It just means they're inquiring. They're asking questions, maybe to your parents, maybe to other people who know you, and inquiring about your health or progress. And you can also inquire after someone. And notice that it's someone else. In each of these we could write ask after someone else, inquire after someone else. It's when you ask questions about someone else, or someone else asks questions about you. They make inquiries about you. And I know I'm probably going to get a question about this, and it's a good question. Does inquire start with an I or an E? Both are acceptable. In British English, this one's more popular. In American English, that one's more popular, or so I have read. But that's the difference between inquire with an I and inquire with an E. However, you can read some books which say there is a slight difference in meaning. I'm not so sure about that. I would just say that that one's American and that one's British. So you've got inquire after or ask after, and they both are the same. Okay, there's no real difference between the two of those. I suppose inquire sounds a little bit more formal. It certainly does, in fact. The word inquire is a formal version of ask. So you can also run after something or someone. So if you're running after the bus, you're chasing the bus. And if you're running after your friend, you're chasing your friend. Now I want to remind you about a few other phrasal verbs which are similar, but which have nothing to do with after. So if you close in on someone that you're chasing, you approach them. So that means approach someone you chase. If you home in on someone, you direct yourself at that person, like a homing missile. So you could also use home in on, like chase. And if you zero in on, it's very similar to home in on. It means you direct yourself at that target. So I like to remind you of other phrasal verbs which have cropped up many times in this series of phrasal verb lessons. And by the way, don't forget catch up with, because if you're chasing someone, if you're running after someone and you eventually reach them, you can say, I have caught up with him. Yeah, I have caught up with that person. So catch up with is the end result of chasing, and it's another phrasal verb. And I don't know what other word we could use other than reach. So you can run after something or someone, which would mean chase, but you can also run around after someone. And this is nearly always used critically, which is why I've put a negative sign here. And when you run around after someone, you spend a lot of your time fussing over. There's a good word as well, which I'm going to put on the board because it's another phrasal verb. It means you spend a lot of time fussing over someone else, doing lots of things for them, while they idle away, yeah, while they laze around. There's two more phrasal verbs. So they're being lazy and you're doing everything for them. You're running around after them. So it's when you do things for someone else, but they should actually be doing it themselves. They're being very irresponsible and you're doing everything for them. So you might say, that little child is spoilt because his parents run around after him all the time. That would spoil the child, yeah? That would make the child just demand things from his parents. The child would expect the parents to do everything for them because the parents have always run around after them. So it's not a good thing, it's a negative thing. You might say she's always running around after her husband, yeah? If the husband is very lazy around the house and never does any jobs around the house and the wife does all the jobs, you could say she's always running around after her husband. I wish she'd stop it. He's just becoming more lazy. Now, this is run around after someone else, and notice it's really about someone else, this one. It's when you do too much for someone else. Well, if you pick up after someone, it means you tidy things up, it's rubbish or toys and stuff like that, which were left by someone else. Again, someone else is a very important point of pick up after. So dog owners, they really ought to pick up after their dog. When their dog has gone to toilet in the streets, the owner really ought to pick up after their dog. Yeah, tidy up after their dog. That's what it means. But parents, unfortunately, very often we have to pick up after our kids, but we shouldn't. We shouldn't run around after them. We shouldn't pick up after them. We should make them pick up their own things, yeah, tidy up their own things. Put away would be another good verb here, but put away their own stuff. So yeah, quite a few phrasal verbs there. And remember these two, they're really quite useful. Okay. If you model something after something else, it means you base it on that other thing, or you model it on. I think this one's more common, by the way, than model something after. It's exactly the same. Model something on something else, or base something on something else. Model something after something else. So you might say our legal system has been modelled after the French system. It's not true, it's just an example. Don't think it's true anyway. So it's when you make a model of something else. You base your model on another model. So again, the something else is really important, just like the someone else was very important here and here. It's when you model something after something else. Now, if you take after your father, that means you are very similar to your father. Usually personality traits here, not usually appearance, although maybe you might hear it used occasionally to mean appearance, but I would use look like for appearance. I would use that phrasal verb, look like. But take after I'd only say for personality. So again, it's take after someone else. It's when you are similar to someone else. So it's a good one for remembering when you're describing your family. Yeah, I take after my father because we're both very generous, whatever it is. Okay, if you are named after your uncle, that means you get your name from someone else. You get your name from your uncle. Okay, so you might say this guy, he was named after his great-grandfather, something like that. So it's when you get your name from someone else. If you make after, maybe the police made after the robbers, or the police made after the thief, it means chase again. They ran after the thief, yeah? They came after the thief, they went after the thief, even they got after the thief in American English, I believe. We don't often use that one, but we'll come on to that one in a second. Now, if you look after someone, you take care of someone else, yeah? It's take care of, and again, it's someone else. So when you go on holiday, you might get a babysitter to look after the kids, or you might even get a friend to look after your pet while you're away. Now, come after and go after, they both mean to chase or hunt someone down. I think this one gets a little bit more descriptive than just chase, and I think it actually means hunt someone down, because it means chase and not give up, keep chasing. So you don't want someone to come after you, because it sounds like they're not going to give up and they're going to keep hunting you until finally they find you, and maybe they beat you up or do away with you, who knows. So come after, go after and get after, they all have these two meanings in different circumstances. They all mean hunt someone down, and they also all mean follow or succeed. So I might say to you, which letter comes after D in the alphabet. E comes after D, yeah? Or which king came after Richard III? Yeah, I think it was Henry IV who came after Richard III. But I could also say maybe there's a row of children and they always participate in a game in the same sequence, and I say, okay, who goes after Richard? And then it would mean which student comes after Richard, which student is next, which student follows. Okay, so they have two meanings really, those ones. Okay, that's all I've got for you on phrasal verbs with after. Remember someone else and chase, because they're the main meanings of after. We'll do some more phrasal verb lessons in future, and some more common mistakes lessons, and maybe even some new grammar, which I'm working on at the moment. But please, if you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to bring you some more videos very soon.